Huh. Nope, there's water. You are now watching Farming with Duffy Ag. Welcome back to the channel. We got lucky. We did not get all the snow, but it isn't that great of a day. Roads are going to be crap. I gotta head to work. So here's an overview. I'll shut the door for a minute. You gotta go to the bathroom, but you haven't been out yet. You want to go bathroom? Go. Go. He doesn't want to get soaking wet. So where the shop is like an hour and 40 minutes south of me, down by Mohegan Sun, the casinos, Connecticut. I don't always go there. I usually go there to get organized, or pick up parts, things like that, pick up service kits. But most days I go directly from where I am to what farm I'm gonna go work with. So yeah, little overview. So we're actually gonna go down there. Supposedly it's sunny and nice down there. The storm kind of went north and we're not cold enough to actually get all the snow. I see the guys in New York and up in Vermont, stuff like that, they got a foot, 2 foot. So if you guys got snow, put in the comment how much snow. But I am perfectly fine with this much snow. You don't have to shovel rain, so that always makes it a little bit better. But we're gonna get going, and when I get done with work, we'll see where we're at, what we can get into. So yeah, covered building or something would be nice. People have been writing, how about RV ports, containers? Containers, even junk ones, cost more than it does to buy a hoop building. So the price of containers has gone through the roof. But I'm still looking, because it is, yeah, it would be necessary. It's nice. Headed back from work, so we got like a rainy slush, but down here in Connecticut, they got absolutely like nothing. A little bit, but you can barely even tell that. So it's wild. And then like you go a little bit west, northwest, and they got hammered with snow. Well, I'd much rather have it like this. It's actually a pretty nice day if it wasn't so windy. But gotta stop and do DOT exam for medical, and then we'll keep going and get back to the farm and finally get back to doing something. Good old Worcester, Massachusetts. So I just looked it up this morning and I was like driving along and I was like, okay, called the first one that really came up that was on the way. Nice guy, really, really nice guy. So talked about life. He went to UMass Amherst. Yeah, he knew people from Acton and Concord. I guess I'm healthy because he passed me. Yeah, did the test. Nothing too crazy. First time ever taking a medical test like that for a DOT card. So we're good there. So now we got to apply for the permit, or do our permit test. So I gotta finish filling out the paperwork, and then we will have to go to the RMV and do the written test. And then from there, you got 6 months to do your actual test, your driving test. So I guess we should study up a little bit on the written test. But alrighty, we're gonna get out of the city here and get on home. Alrighty. Well, I might need 2 hands for this. There we go. So I have not had this up since I really took it apart. Oop, just dropped stuff on my head. And well, we're just gonna have to clean that up and put it back together. At least there's no actual moisture in it. Let me put that back up there. So what I've been waiting on this is, we cannot get the oil cooler for it. Discontinued completely. So this is an Ackerman So we have the oil cooler, and I said, okay, bring it to the guys that clean radiators, have them pressure test it, make sure we're good on both sides, because I think that's what really went wrong. And if that's the case, then we'll fab up some fittings and run it. I have been waiting since we first ordered a part for that to go. And so I told my father before I went to Puerto Rico, I said, bring the radiator, because it's full of oil, get it cleaned out, and bring them that and get it pressure tested. It's the 17th of January, still hasn't been done. So this is going to sit here a while longer because it's a pain to put the head on and the turbo and then try to reach around it to put the oil cooler on. This, on the other hand, I made him a list. And what we're going to do on this is the better pistons. It needs a head gasket. So we're going to do an in-frame with the better pistons and do it up, rings, head gasket, everything like that. They never got ordered either. So how it works here, if you're new or haven't figured it out, I have my own stuff and then I have the farm stuff. Farm stuff usually sits around a lot longer because I tell them what it needs and then they drag their feet and whatnot, and then I don't have the motivation to work on it because it's not mine and they didn't do it. So that's where we're at with those. They're sitting in the driveway. I was hoping I'd come back, parts would be here and we would get it going, but that's not the case. You know what we're gonna do? We're walking out to punch in to start working. We're gonna fill the chopper tire up. It's low, it's not flat, it's low, very low, but at some point hopefully he gets that figured out, because I'm sick of looking at it. I could use the excavator for some things this winter. Skid steer is in here. What else we got in here? Not sure what that is for. Yeah, I got my pile of parts. My welder's moved. So I haven't really been back here since I came back from Puerto Rico. He bought all sorts of parts for the corn planter. As you know, I'm looking for an 8-row. He's convinced that the 4-row is great. I'm convinced that it costs us more money than it's worth, especially because it's too wide and stuff like that. And yeah, we will see in the next weeks. He did end up getting, let me see if I can pop this open. Good cutters. Okay. So, let's see what we actually got. The rest of the rake arms. The rest of the pins, since it was a good experience. And we should have, that one's for the single rake, which that is not as easy to switch. We got the bolts, washers, wedges, all sorts of stuff. So the rake will be 100% new going into this year, which is good. So I don't know, they got picnic tables in here. Yeah, we got all sorts of stuff. So what's going on here that we'll get to? Well, the motor's new and there's water in the coolant. The motor's new. We put it in like a year ago, but we barely have run it. And since the get-go, the coolant, there's water in the oil. It's been very sketchy. So I will go do my things out back and then we will come up, and I told him the easiest thing that could fail is the oil cooler. So let's switch that out first. And he said there was one here, which doesn't mean I know where one is. So anybody who ordered long sleeve merch, sorry on the delay. It is coming. It's been one of a hell of a year as far as supplies for everything. So that includes merchandise or clothing and whatnot. So I'm hoping I will have it by beginning of next week. That is the plan. So hey, what are you doing over here? You eating stuff? I hope you're not eating stuff. But yeah, fleet looks good. All lined up, ready to party. I don't know why they set the disc down in the ground. It's a pet peeve of mine. Is that tire flat? That tire's flat too. That's the second time. Okay. Well, that's annoying. So we gotta put air in that. We gotta put air in the chopper. Yeah. And then we gotta put tire jet in it at some point here in the near future. Yeah, the worst part is this is a new tire. So it's gotta have a little leak around the bead or something. Ooh. I see some bubbles coming out the bottom. Yeah, that's not good. But it does take a few months to leak down. Whereas the chopper, it takes like 3 weeks to get to full to, well, that point. So we'll fill it up, make sure we're good. Yeah, everything else looks good. We did put a new tube in that tire that goes flat there. So that is a plus. What else we got going on? We haven't been here in a while. Vacation, going on vacation, it's hard to come back out of it. It does bother me that nothing got washed. Like, it's just filthy. Didn't have any time. And cold weather set in. So, next good break, I gotta wash everything. Yeah. Okay. Tires are full. We're halfway good there. Let's go mess with that skid steer then. Change the oil cooler out. Alrighty, so if you haven't watched this, this skid steer snapped the crank. Year and a half ago or so. Almost 2 years ago actually, probably. And it took quite a while. These motors are absolutely horrible to get parts for. They're the 5-cylinder Deeres that are made in Mexico. Injectors are a stupid amount of money. So we finally got everything pieced together. What we probably should, I like this skid steer. What we probably should have done is just said down the road and got rid of it. This is way better than our Cat. I'm very disappointed with how that Cat is. It's not balanced well. This is quite a lot more machine to it. So we got it rebuilt and ran it a little bit, and then when I did the oil change, it looked a little watery, and we really haven't. They've run it a few hours here and there. We've changed the oil out. So I'm gonna drain the oil, I think. Can I get to the oil cooler with the boom down? Yeah, the oil cooler is behind here. Oh yeah, that's the inlet air. So you take the oil filter off, and then the oil cooler is behind it. So I'm hoping that failed and that we don't actually have an issue inside the motor, but not really sure. So this little pan down here, it's supposed to have 2 bolts. I think the other one's broke off or missing or gone. So you take those 2, well, take the one off, and then that connects to the actual hose for the drain for the oil. So you drop the bolt in there because that's always handy as well. So then that pulls out. I need 2 adjustables. I forget what sizes they are, but so from there you just take, that's the end of the hose and that's the plug, and you pull it apart. So I'll measure it up. We'll go get a wrench. It's about that big. So you get the right size wrenches, and then you just loosen it, and then that should just come undone. And let's see what it looks like. Oh wow. Huh. Nope, there's water. Yep. Okay, I was gonna say, that actually looks pretty clean, but then the water started coming. So that's a slow drain from in there. And yeah, that doesn't look so good. Well, they don't go high enough to actually lock it because this garage isn't high enough. And then we actually dropped every single socket off that, which is great. But it's not like it's gonna come down and crush me. I opened it, I lifted it up. I know it's not the safest thing. I lifted it up so that we can see what we're doing as we're working in there, because you can see a damn thing. But let me move this over. We'll have to deal with the sockets after. Then we'll keep draining it. So I stopped it from draining just so that I could start it and pick it up. Get all this out of the way. And then that gives us, that gives us so much more room to see what's going on here. As far as, we got 2 lines to take off. We got the oil to drain out of here, well, the filter to drain out. And then we'll see what it really looks like. Got that loose. Let's put you guys over there. Take this out. We might not want to take this out first, but we'll take it out and we'll inspect it. Okay. But what we got to do first, before we actually do any of that, we got to take these lines off, and those lines are going to have coolant in it. You got your coolant running through, and it's cooling the oil via colder temperatures compared to the oil. The filter screws on here, so that's your return coming back from everything, and then it dumps in. So the thought process is the coolant lines are higher pressure and it's pushing through there. The other things could be, I'm trying to think, I don't know if the water pumps on these are bad, could go bad. Put coolant into it. Head gasket, but it runs really well. I guess I didn't really check if there's bubbling beforehand, but I would figure that would go the other way. And maybe seals around the actual cylinders. So, well, the cylinder walls. So, but this is the easiest one to check off. I think the only way to actually switch that, well, either is drain all the coolant out or quickly pop them off and pop this one on and go along our way. So I'm not gonna drain all the coolant out, so I guess we're gonna see how this works out. There's a lot of junk in the way. That line's definitely too short, so I got a piece of milk hose actually in there holding it, which will work for right now, but we're gonna have to get that right line. So they must have had a short section or something kicking around, and yeah, it fit a little bit, but it wasn't all the way on. So I'll have to order the right one, and we'll probably switch that other one too, because that doesn't look right. I think they got some pre-bent pieces on it, and we'll get some new hose clamps. So it's back together. I did throw some straight water in because it doesn't really matter. It's gonna sit in here that's warm, and we're gonna have to take it all back apart, and it's gonna lose all the coolant again. So we might as well, I'll find a new filter for it. We'll put oil in it. We'll run it. We'll drain it out because, as you see, there's still a lot of milk coming out, pretty much. And then we'll run it for a while and see what happens. So got it back together. I'll let that oil cycle a little, get a little warmer so it comes out. We'll drain that oil out, and we'll do that probably 2 times. It's not completely topped off, just enough that it will fill up, run through. So I broke down. That's full of diesel fuel. I didn't have any kerosene. I know kerosene works better, I think, to help water get out. Put it in, cycled it over some, so it got through some of the system. Come on. Why does it... It's like there's something stuck in there. Because there's a good amount of kerosene or diesel in there. I would have figured it would have came right out. So I took the line off, and I don't know if you can see it right in there. Probably not. The lighting's not ideal. But I took the line off, and it is just dumping out like some fluid. So I wonder if this never gets empty and the water's just sitting on the bottom. So I guess we will see as it continues to drain out what goes on. Because that should have diesel, red dyed diesel coming out of it. And as you see, it's, well, I don't know if you can see it. We're still looking at milk. So, okay, now we got liquid, as you can hear. There it is. A little bit of red coming out of there. So I wonder if that line just never drains out. So we were always leaving milky oil in the bottom. Well, watery oil. Well, we're looking better. We're getting it drained out. I'm gonna let that run all the way out because the bottom's got like a tiny little bit that it's just slow to drain. So I'll let that drain overnight. We'll get back into this tomorrow. It's already 7:30. I'm a little hungry, but yeah, right back into the wrenching. At least this is small enough that it fits inside here. But we'll probably get the 4230 in once I get this out, and we'll start tearing into that. And then we got to get into my stuff. So appreciate you guys watching, liking, subscribing, being part of it. Like I said, with the merch, early next week, I'm hoping to have everything. So if you haven't, I'm not even wearing my merch. There you go. Duffy Ag. I got it underneath. Threw my Dealer Valve sweatshirt on to work on this stuff. Yeah, duffyag.com. If it says it's in stock, or if it's available to order, it should be there. So we got Gildan sweatshirts, got a few Carhartts left. Maybe I'll do some Carhartts later on. But long sleeves, short sleeves, hats. Yeah, all the black short sleeves are all in stock. So if you haven't grabbed one, go grab one. It helps with all these projects and everything else. But appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.